trends that we're witnessing, they could indeed continue.
They will continue, and the country can take some confidence in that they have the investment is paying off.
Hear you on that.
The returns are good enough.
Billions have been well spent, the National Security Minister says. That's my time. I break for the news, well, make way for the news at 7.
So I'm sure you took her to a doctor, and what did he say?
He said that she had a hole in her heart. She's a blue baby.
I thought I would find my papa, but I didn't. I found Uncle Jungly instead.
I will divorce her. It's what you want.
Ganga.
Brought to you by
Hyundai or Hyundai.
This is CVM News Afternoon for Thursday, May 1, 2025. I'm Carolyn Brown. Thanks so much for joining us. Indicom is investigating the alleged assault of a Westmoreland police constable by officers from the specialized unit in Kingston. The Independent Commission of Investigation has confirmed it's investigating the matter. Reports are the police constable, who is attached to the Savannah-Lamar police station, was at home when a team attached to the specialized unit in Kingston turned up. It's further reported the police constable was informed he was being investigated for a firearm-related incident. He, however, refused to give access to his home. An altercation developed, and he was allegedly physically assaulted by members of the team. Our newsroom is monitoring this development, and we'll bring you more as it becomes available. Sections of St. Mary are again under curfew. Among the impacted areas, Albion Mountain, Retreat, Bailey's Valley, and Boscobel. Authorities say the curfews are a response to recent incidents of violence, increased gang-related activity, motor vehicle theft, and residential break-ins within the affected communities. The constabulary force continues to employ these strategies in suppressing criminal activity, preventing reprisals, restoring public confidence, and maintaining peace and order. Deputy Prime Minister and National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says the government has invested nearly $60 billion since 2018 to strengthen the country's security forces. He made that revelation on CVM's lead story Wednesday.
We'd have to take it as security forces. We're looking maybe at this point now they spent maybe up to $60 billion.
Since 2018?
Yeah. You average an average of up to $10 billion a year. Mm-hmm. It's 5 years, but some of it is still being spent. Mm-hmm. Like the new divisional headquarters in Savannah, which not finished, but the men are seeing something that they can believe will happen. Mm-hmm. When they come in from a station in which they were falling through the roof,
yes.
The floor.
True.
But that's $2.8 billion. Spanish Town would be another, old knockdown place, and that's $2.5 billion. That alone is roughly near $6 billion. Mm-hmm. So that's an expenditure that's ongoing, and we have another 6 stations in construction, and motor vehicles spent $2.4 billion last year. So, in fact, the capital expenditure is what been in the region of $60 to $70 billion. Mm-hmm. We have changed for good budgeting. Putting like motor cars and radios on a recurrent budget, mm-hmm. which used to be on capital budget. Mm-hmm. See, I'm happy to give a detail, but we're in that kind of region, which is a huge amount of money, much more than ever been spent in policing.
So does it...
The St. Catherine North Security and Safety Branch, CSSB, is playing its part through community intervention activities to thwart crime and violence with monthly town halls. Now, its latest forum featured keynote speaker, retired Deputy Commissioner of Police, Norbert Grant, who offered insights into the violent nature of some Jamaicans. She reasons men are socialized incorrectly with misconceptions on how they should behave, which results in a breakdown in how they respond to triggers.
Harmful beliefs again, where we are taught about how to view manhood, women and girls. Be tough, don't act like a girl, fight back, do not show fear and weakness. Be mean and aggressive. Do not back down. Be strong. Be decisive. Do not ask for or accept or offer help. Do not cry openly or express your emotions. Know about sex. Have enough gal in a bungle. Be in control, meaning over women, and be a provider and a protector. That's how men are taught to view manhood. These are the attributes, the attitudes, and the behavior that they are expected to see.
We like to say that children live what they learn. Right? And it comes back down to what you were saying about when a child gets to the age of 7, they have already been set in their ways. Their whole persona has already been developed at that age.
Security in Jamaica is not just a matter of safety concerns. It's also one that ultimately impacts the country's cost of living. That comment from Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who was speaking at the Jamaica packaging industry's 70th anniversary and new factory launch.
Government is able to reduce security concerns. Then the cost of living to everyone reduces. So don't just look at this issue of the police getting on top of murders, getting on top of crime as, yes, my community is secure, I can go outside and stay out late and party all night. That's fine, that's good. I want our people to be able to have fun safely. But it is also about the cost of doing business and the cost of living.
Education Minister Senator Dr. Dana Morris Dixon says extensive efforts were made to ensure students, especially those with disabilities, were given equal opportunities to sit and succeed in this year's primary exit profile PEP exams. Appearing on Sunrise Thursday, she revealed over 500 students across the island received tailored support.
Some of them may need someone who will read with them or prompt them for the exam. We also have those who get their scripts printed in Braille. We print in Braille.
Oh, wow.
And for some children who may also have other issues with their sight, we print the exam scripts in big font for those students. So we actually canvass all of the schools to find out where we have students with special needs that need special accommodation.
The minister also shares provisions were made for students unable to attend in person.
We had children whose parents opted to have them do the exams even though they were in hospital. So our ministry team were at some of our hospitals yesterday because a student may have gone in for a condition. They're still able to do their test, and their parents request the ministry to do it. So we had children at UWI Hospital, Bustamante Hospital, St. Anne's Day Hospital, and Mandeville Hospital doing PEP yesterday with us accommodating them. So we're there for any child, no matter what is going on. And this emphasis on children with special needs is very important.
You must stay with us for our live discussion coming up right after this. You don't want to miss it.
We needed to raise capital, but our experience with local financial institutions was that they were cautious and slow to act, and interest rates were far too high. We had real concerns about financing our business through outside equity investors and the possibility of interference. Could we get a fair valuation for our business? We had our own ideas about the business and its value. Should I go the traditional route of bank financing, or should I try the Jamaica Stock Exchange? So we made a call and experienced transformation of our business through conversations. I'm John Mafood, CEO of Jamaican Teas, and we're listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Give us a call today at 876-967-3271 to begin your transformation through conversation. We want to see your company listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Need affordable and stylish men's clothing that doesn't break the bank? Then look no further than 876 South, the ultimate source for men's fashion. From original Clarks, name brand watches and sleek accessories, we've got something for every man, every style and every budget. Don't just dress, make a statement. Visit 876 South at Shop 58 Sovereign Center, Caledonia Road, Mandeville, or call us at 876-319-1375. 876 South, classy, stylish, unique.
Welcome back. Glad you stayed with us. Now, born in Brixton, United Kingdom, to Jamaican parents, renowned for his educational advocacy through his charity Generating Genius and his elevation to the House of Lords in 2022, Lord Tony Sewell's book, Black Success, The Surprising Truth, offers a powerful and personal exploration of the forces behind Black achievement, focusing on family, education, discipline, ambition, and property ownership. Well, he is right here with us, right here in the studios of CVM TV. Welcome and thank you so much.
It's really good to be here.
Great. So, you're of Jamaican heritage. Tell us, how did all of this happen for you to become a part?
Yeah, I mean, it was basically 2023, 2 years ago, and I was doing lots of work in education, and I'd previously worked with that was the current Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and I worked with him when he was mayor, doing lots of his education programs, which worked really well, and the reward for that it was a peerage. Now, I mean, just to explain to your viewers quickly that the House of Lords really operates, it's similar to your Senate in a sense, except the only big difference is we're not elected, we're appointed, and that appointment is at the behest of the Prime Minister, and so it usually happens when they're leaving. They then give out these occasional ones. And to be honest, I'll be honest with you. I mean, in that place, I love it. And I'm going to tell you, no negative stories. I love going there, and I'm going to be back there next week. If you go in there, there's probably me and another person who look like me in there, and a couple of other people. But it's moving. Whereas Commons is different. Yeah, yes. It's Commons is different. But that's not the issue. I love it. I the tea is great. The tea is fantastic.
I bet it is.
But the work in there is interesting. What we do is we get the bills. The bills come up to us. We have to revise and scrutinise them. And it's really great having the policeman saying "my lord" all the time.
Yes.
They have to bow and scrape to you. It's great, everybody has to say that. It's a nice feeling, And my grandparents from Springhead or Rockabessa would have been very proud today.
I'm sure, and we are proud also.
Good.
So let me just congratulate you on this book, Black Success.
Yes.
Was there anything? I want you to tell us what is the most interesting thing that you found out as it relates to Jamaicans as you wrote this book?
Let me tell you the thing, and I always talk to the children at Rockabessa High School. I wanted to speak to them as well about this. Is that they probably don't know enough about the early Jamaicans that left here in the 1950s. Yeah, and the reality is, Jamaicans now have their culture and expression internationally, but it was really my parents leaving here in the 50s that really helped things like reggae music come international. That was the market for everything, yeah? And Desmond Decker, all these other people, Bob Marley, they all ended up in London and they did their work there as well. So there's always been this relationship between that community that went there and Jamaica itself, as well as about the remittances that we sent back, and that goes on in terms of everything else. But look, the issue is that the story of the positive story of how Jamaicans did very well in London in spite of, and it's there, the racism was there, the blockage of the housing, but they did so well. And one of the things that they did well is they bought their own houses.
Yes, they did.
And one of the ironies of it was that it's not that I'm justifying the bad things, but when you're blocked for renting. They got together, they said, wait a minute, let's put our money together and we'll buy our own houses. And then what happened eventually was that they bought their houses in areas that suddenly got gentrified. So in fact, in my parents' case, they bought their house for about, I don't know, say about £3,000 or £4,000. And well, I'm living on the proceeds. They got cash, it turned into millions afterwards. And so when my parents died, me and my brother and sister, we got rich.
Yes.
And so I'm living on their legacy, you know,
Yes.
and I'm proudly doing that.
Yes.
And ironically, I went back and we just found a house at a great place in a Rockabessa that looks down to Golden Eye, and it swung back almost back to my grandparents' broad house, which was in Springhead up the road. And it was just this fantastic journey right the way back to now that I am. So basically, I live 6 months. I'm talking to the suit man across at Rockabessa, and the next minute I'm sitting in the House of Lords.
Look at that.
That's my world.
Interestingly, on page 57, I open it, it says, take the money and run. I have to take a quick break, but we'll continue right after this.
Okay.
Stay with us.
The Time is brought to you by Ford Territory.
Welcome back. We're looking at Black Success, The Surprising Truth by Tony Sewell. We went out with me on this page, take the money and run. Without giving away everything, tell us a little more about that.
Well, in the end, the take the money. I remember, the day when my mother got that mortgage bidder. You get the mortgage paper that says that you've paid off all the money, so the house is yours. And so I could imagine that we had a little celebration at that day and of course that house was bought for £5,000, cashed in. I can't tell you my business, but cashed in at a couple of million, current money, yeah. And so when my parents died, and that's why I kind of say, I mean, obviously I've got my own profession, but having that foresight, that community, so many of them did so well. And living in an area like Brixton, which at the time was, nobody wanted to go there. It was just where Jamaicans were, and they were doing badly in there and nobody wanted to know us. And then suddenly everybody wants to live there now, to kind of change.
Right, you use the acronym FREE in the book. Tell us a little more about that.
The acronym FREE is really to describe, what I say in the book is kind of the kind of basis for success. So family for one, yeah? Religion, yeah? Education and enterprise. Once you've got that in the frame, and Jamaica has to have this as well, then you're going to do well. We are probably in England and here as well running at perhaps in that family space. We can't be running at numbers of 60, 70% single parents. We need to think about that and how that works and maybe doing that differently, because communities that do well probably don't have those numbers, and we have to think about how we support our families. We know we're big on religion.
Yes.
Yeah. But enterprise and education, those are the other big factors that drive success. And the communities that were doing well, black communities that were doing well, Nigerian communities in England particularly, had that in place. So that's the template for success.
The third, fourth, fifth generations, are they in, is there a possibility they are losing connection with the island?
Probably lost it already. But it's not a bad thing, I don't lament about that, What I look at is that it had to happen because the visa restrictions were on, Britain changed, the big communities were from Africa, and also we are a mixed group as well, in terms of integrating in the society. So the connections are not as great as they could be, and maybe for Jamaica, maybe we should think about how we can make that work. But as far as I can see, those connections are smaller and not as strong when I was growing up.
Okay, so my producer wants me to ask you very quickly, are there any Jamaicans or Jamaican enterprises or endeavors that have caught your attention recently?
One in particular is a farmer, and I have a small farm where I am as well, and that is Wilfred Emmanuel Jones. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's called the Black Farmer, and he's smart. What he did, he came in the 50s and got his farm, but he decided also to get the value added in it. So he has the Black Farmer sausages, he has the Black Farmer beef, pork, and they're in the supermarkets. So it's just a model for great enterprise. So I would name him as a Jamaican that's done well.
Right, and so now, where can we get this? It sounds like a must-read.
You love it. It's a journey, and you can do it in one read. It's a good. I know a lot of people don't like reading, but it's a good read. It's a good journey. Get it on Amazon.
Thank you so much. Remind